All right, guys. So
It's janky.
it is janky. Okay. Oh well.
It's leaning, yeah. It's kind of bothering.
It's still janky.
Right there, right there.
Wait, put it.
I know. I mean, there's a little level there.
So you put it up like that.
It's literally a little bit slanted.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. All right. So, all of your grades have been updated, both RenWeb and Google Classroom. Now, one of the things I've noticed on there, no, in fact, it's kind of if you look on RenWeb to see what the lesson plan is for today, you'll see it. The quiz that we had scheduled is moved to tomorrow.
You had it.
Okay. Because as I was going through, I saw there are a lot of missings. But I also, as I was going through with the Cornell notes and some of the essay questions, it wasn't just this class, kind of a cross spatially in both 7th and 8th grade. I saw instances of plagiarism. And so y'all say, oh, and yet. Okay.
And yet
So,
some of us did.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did not.
At least one person in every period did
At
it.
least I didn't
Okay.
purposely.
It was just a vocab.
So that's why, no, it wasn't the vocab. It was like, I could,
that's
like
right.
on
Didn't
Cornell
know.
notes, guys, stop. On Cornell notes, I could pull up the book, I could pull up the Cornell notes, and I could read
Wait.
all the way through.
I didn't do it
Guys,
purposely.
okay, guys. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about plagiarism.
Oh.
Okay, and questions will come later. Okay. And so, real quick, if on the Cornell notes, I've been gracious. If there was plagiarism, I haven't been given 0. I've just brought you down to a 70. But starting here, starting now, and then on then on the essays for the test and stuff, if there was plagiarism on the essay, I just gave no credit for that question. Okay. However, starting now, this is like your big old final warning. Plagiarism on Cornell notes will result in a 0. Plagiarism on essay questions or short answers on the tests will not just lose points for that question, but will result in a larger penalty than that point. Like it will be a double penalty.
Oh.
Okay, so if it's a 12-point question, but you've plagiarized, then the penalty is 24 points.
Oh, my.
Okay. So it's still not gonna wipe out all the other work that you did on the test, but it will be worth, it's a 24-point, it's a double penalty. Because y'all all know better than to plagiarize, right? So it's like a punitive penalty. Okay. Okay. Now questions, Mikey.
I'm not saying anybody here, but some people in 7th and 8th grade will
Don't.
either
Okay.
underdo
Look,
it and not know anything, or overdo
It's-
it and
Mikey,
exactly
Mikey.
the book.
It's
Mike.
okay.
It's so when we talk about plagiarism, even if you were to take the sentences from the book and change around words, that was one of the instances I saw were like changing out then for next. When you're writing, is then and next, can they be used interchangeably?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of cases they can be. So if you have a sentence that says in the book that says then this happened, and all you did was you changed it from then to next, this and everything else, is that still plagiarism?
Yes.
Yes. What if you rearrange the words of the sentence but all the words are the same? Is that plagiarism? Yes. If you just rearrange the words, but all the words are the same, that's still plagiarism.
I have a question.
Okay, and so like that's the textbook definition. plagiarism. So what you need to do is read the information, digest and understand the information, and then write it in your own words based on your understanding of it. Okay, that way, so you don't use the words that were used. I mean, if it's vocab words, you use vocab words, obviously, because they're vocab. But yeah, you don't use the same sentence structure or anything like that. Okay, Michaela, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so do you want us to like summarize it?
Yeah, your notes should be like summarized, like the blue part of your notes should be summarized sections,
Okay.
right? Like what's the main, you read something about the Hohokam, and it talks a lot about what they live, where they lived and all that. Summarize it by Hohokam used irrigation to survive in the desert. You won't find that set of words like in the book, but if you read the entire section about the Hohokam, you can pull out the main idea of that section. Okay, Janet.
So like, what if there's like a sentence like, Jim was born in 1823. So how are we supposed to, do we just put like 1823 was the year Jim was born? Like,
No, so if it's one sentence out of your entire notes, that's not, I'm not counting that as plagiarism, right? What I saw were paragraphs following the exact same sentence structure.
Like
all
they
the
were
way-
just copy and pasting?
Yeah, it was it was like copy and pasting from the book to the Cornell
Or
notes.
Can't you just run that?
Oh, word for word, yeah, absolutely.
Can't you just run that thingamajiggy that's like it
Yeah, that
says
thing
if
you can
it's
run it
plagiarism or
Through,
not?
that's in Turnitin,
Oh.
but we're submitting through Google Classroom.
Oh.
So I don't have that tool at my disposal.
Okay.
Okay, but I can still, like,
It's world.
y'all don't
Teachers Day.
talk like a textbook, do you?
I know.
Oh, so you want us to run it informally?
Well, not necessarily like super informally, but even your writing style
Right.
is not, like, there is some bleed over from your talking style to your writing style.
Right.
And so that is not the textbook, right? So it's one of those things that, like, red flags as I'm reading through. If I see like a certain sentence pattern that I recognize as textbook speak, all of a sudden it sends a red flag and I start looking closer at it. Okay, that especially like on essay questions, sends a red flag. I Google what you typed out, and I've seen websites where the words are the exact same because it doesn't make sense. Like the answer doesn't make sense. Kara.
Two things.
Yes.
One, so say we like, I've done this before, so I'm just gonna use me.
Sure.
So I will put in like quotation marks, like that sentence, because I think it's the perfect
Uh-huh.
way to say it. But then I say like from the textbook.
That's fine
Okay.
because you're quoting. Now what I don't want to see, because I know that some people will try it. They try to be sly and like find a loophole. If all of your Cornell notes are in quotations,
Um,
No, they're not all.
no, that does not.
I'm saying that certain
I know,
quotes.
I know. Certain quotes are fine because you're adding commentary on it.
Oh.
But I know some people would try because I've had it in the past
So,
where people copy the book and they'll just put a quotation on one end and a quotation on the other end and try to say, technically I'm not plagiarizing. And it's like, yeah, but technically you also didn't do any of the work. So you'll still get a 0 for failure to do the work. Okay, Tara had another question, then I'll go back here and then Chris.
so.
Happy World
Wait.
Teachers Day.
Huh?
Happy World Teachers Day.
Oh, thank you.
What the?
Yes.
Oh. So if we cited like the source, it's
Uh-huh.
okay?
That's fine, as long as it's not all, like, as long as that's not your entire notes,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Or even like, as long as it's not 80% of your notes are cited and only 20% are your actual, no.
Yeah.
Chris,
I didn't have it.
okay. All right, so today is a work day, okay? If you have missing work,
I knew.
work on it, okay? If you have a test that you need to retake for one reason or another, now would be a good time to work on that. Okay, I'll be passing out kind of a grade update sheet for you.
Thank you.
Okay?
How do we know?
Thank you.
I don't
Alright.
think I have.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Nope.
I don't think I have.